Well, hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? J-Mac here with you. Right now, I'm joined by Crispy Bacon here on the Four Bros Radio Show. It's two of us right now. Big B will be on here in a little bit. So, Chris and I thought we might do something a little different tonight. I think we're gonna start with just going over some final scores, looking at the day in sports. But Chris, how was your day, man?
Day's been good. A long day, but not too bad. Hope everyone's having a great day.
Yeah, how's that data entry thing going? Is that going all right?
Yeah, it's going good.
Good.
Just putting in numbers, so.
But there's nothing wrong with that. It's an honest living, and
it is.
The fact that you're working, you're out there, you're making something of yourself. That's great. And all it's going to do is help you with computer stuff, so that if I have a question, I can call Chris and be like, "Hey, I don't understand what the hell's going on. Why don't you help me out with this?"
Sure.
But so I think we're going to start with some final scores. I'll turn my camera on here in just a second. I'm sharing this a few times, and I hate being live on the camera while I'm looking down at a phone. I don't think that that's a very good look at all. So
Right.
I will be on here in just a second. But until then, Chris, why don't you tell us real quick what you think the fate of by the way, did you know something interesting? Did you know that the Texas Rangers lead Major League Baseball this year in stolen bases?
No, I did not. Wow.
Yeah. And did you know that Ricky Henderson in 1982 stole more bases than any team did in Major League Baseball last year?
I think I saw that you posted that.
Right, but how? Think about
crazy.
that. Think about that. He stole more bases. One person stole more bases in a year than an entire team did in a season.
Right.
That's
just crazy.
It is crazy. So he averaged, I looked up his career numbers, 25 years. He averaged 53.5 steals a season. When's the last time we've had a guy steal 50 bases in a year in baseball?
I don't think ever.
It's happened, but it doesn't happen very often. Not anymore. It's not part of the game anymore. So it's just kind of crazy. He had 130 stolen bases in a season, and he had 1,405 for his career. They talk about those records that'll never be broken. That's definitely one of those records that'll never be broken. There's nobody that's going to steal 1,400 bases in a career. He also was intentionally walked more times than anyone else in the history of the game. That's crazy, isn't it? And then walks overall, he was walked more than anyone else also. So just kind of few crazy numbers about Ricky Henderson. And some of you will know who it is, some of you won't. But very solid player for a long time. Without further ado, I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to go. We're going to look at some final scores for the day. Should we start with the two NCAA football games that were on tonight?
Sure.
So we had Florida State and Louisville, and the final score there was 35-31. Florida State pulled that out over Louisville by 4 points, and they actually scored a touchdown with 7:54 left in the game. So it wasn't like it was last minute, but that's getting down there at the end of the game. No one scored the last 8 minutes, so kind of the top performers in the game for Florida State. You had Jordan Travis, so he was 13-17, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Leading rusher there was Treshaun Ward, 10 carries, 126 yards. And their top receiver was Johnny Wilson, 7 catches, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On the other side, you had Malik Cunningham for Louisville was 21 of 34, 243, a touchdown and a pick. Rushing wise, they didn't have a very good rushing game today. 17 carries, 91 yards for Jordan, and then Amari Higgins Bruce, 3 catches, 61 yards. So, looking at some of the numbers, Louisville beat Florida State in first downs overall. That doesn't happen rarely when you win a game. Louisville actually had 252 rushing yards in the game and still lost. So that doesn't happen very often either. But it was kind of one of those back and forth games, and Florida State pulled it out in the end. So the other NCAA game that was on today was Air Force and Wyoming. You have any idea who won that game, Chris?
I guess it's Wyoming.
Wyoming won. You would think they would have won by more than they did, but they only won 17-14. Wow. They won by a field goal. Yeah, and actually they were losing with 9:58 left in the game. Air Force scored a touchdown, and the score was 14-10 with 9:58 left. And then 3 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game, Wyoming scored a touchdown to go up 17-14. That was kind of your final at that point. So one of those weird, interesting games that a team you wouldn't think was up was actually up for most of the game. Let's go to something we don't really talk about much on the show, but I think that it's warranted. They're having the Fortinet Championship in the PGA. And
that's their main championship, right?
I believe that's the main championship right now, yeah. And Max Homa is actually winning. He shot a 500 today. He's got a 12 over for the tournament. And, of course, that'll be 2 more days, Saturday and Sunday there. 12 over also, though, is Danny Willett. His world rank is 148th in the world, by the way, and he's tied for the championship lead. He shot an 8 under today.
Oh, wow.
To charge up the leaderboard. So that's kind of crazy. Interesting there for sure on that. NASCAR, you had the
they're in the playoffs, aren't they?
They are in the playoffs. So everyone was asking about the last time when it was brought up. Really, no known names. It's kind of a younger in there now. Allmendinger may be the most known name right now, AJ Allmendinger. And he's actually in 6th place with 45 points. Or he finished 6th today, excuse me. Overall, the leader overall right now is Noah Gragson. He's got 57 points. And he finished 1st today to grab some more points. So that's in the Xfinity series though. So that's not the main. That's not the main series. That was the Kraft Food 300 today. Now, if you go in the Cup series, that's the one everyone was wanting to know about, right? On who's leading there. Big B's about to join us. So who's leading in the it wasn't Nextel. I don't even know who sponsors it now.
I think it's Sprint.
Sprint?
Yeah.
Well, in that series, you have Denny Hamlin near the top. Tyler Reddick is still up there. Joey Logano is still around racing. All those guys are in the top. Brad Keselowski, 7th currently. Joey Logano won the qualifying for that, and Kyle Busch finished 5th, actually, in that. Looks like Big B's having some trouble. There he is.
What's up, guys? Sorry about being late.
That's all right. We were just going over the NASCAR stuff, the results and who's leading, and then that right now. And then we got a bunch of soccer going on around the world, some friendlies going on. But let's get to the big topic right now, which is Major League Baseball. And let's look at those finals and see where it puts everybody. So We'll just start here at the top. The Cubs beat the Rockies 2-1. Now, the Cubs just swept the Mets, so they've actually won 4 games in a row. They're playing spoilers right now. They have no chance of making the playoffs, as we know, but they're playing spoilers right now. Washington Nationals beat the Miami Marlins. It's one of those who cares games. Both teams are more than 30 games out of the division lead, but the Nationals beat the Marlins 5-4. The Blue Jays beat the Orioles. Now, the reason that's important is because the Blue Jays are right in the thick of the race. We'll go over the standings here in a minute and look where they all are, but they beat the Orioles today 6-3, and actually the Orioles were in the wild card race as well, so that's a big win for them. The Red Sox beat the Royals 2-1. The Tigers beat the White Sox, so that puts the White Sox back behind the 8 ball again. They were having to win some games to try to get themselves back into it. They lost 3-2 today to the Tigers. The Mets beat the Pirates 4-3, but there was some excitement in that game. Top of the 9th inning, it's 4-3 Mets. The bases are loaded with 1 out, and the Mets somehow escaped with the win. But they almost gave it away to the Pirates after getting swept by the Cubs. So the Mets are fading right now, which we all knew was going to happen in September because it does every single year. That's not coming from a Met hater or anything, but
no, they do. Even Mets fans have said it. I mean, we say it on deck all the time.
Yeah. The Guardians beat the Twins today 4-3. Sorry about that, Big B. I know the Twins are right in the thick of things. Again, we'll go over that here in just a second. The Rangers won today. They beat the Rays, so they put the Rays kind of behind the 8 ball again. They're right in the race also. The Astros beat the Athletics 5-0. In that game is interesting. It was Verlander's first game back. He came in 5 innings, no hits, struck out 9, gave up a walk and a hits batsman. So he had 2 people on base in 5 innings. And Yordan Alvarez hit 3 solo home runs in that game, all off the same pitcher for Oakland. First inning, 3rd inning, and 5th inning. He's the first one to do that for the Astros ever, to hit 3 homers off the same pitcher. So kind of crazy that happened. And the Brewers, I just saw this one go final just a little bit ago, but the Brewers beat the Yankees 7-6. And no, Aaron Judge did not hit a home run in that game. He did score 2 runs, but he did not hit a homer. The Cardinals beat the Reds 6-5. Pujols did hit a home run, number 698 in his career. And the guy's just a class act. You know that he was raised correctly as a kid. He was raised to be humble with everything that he has. After the game, they interviewed him and told him, hey, the person that caught the ball wants to meet you. And he said, oh, they can keep it. It's going to mean more to them than it is to me. And they're the reason that we get to do what we do is because of the fans. And so that's just a class act. That's a guy who's not pretending like he's better than anyone else. He's a pretty humble guy. So hats off to him. He's 2 away. He's got 19 games left to get there. I think he'll get there sometime. I'm going to put a date on it. I say he'll get there by September 28th. I think he'll be at 700. That's 12 days from now. I think that'll give him plenty of time to be there. And the Angels beat the Mariners. Now, the Mariners are the other team. Not every single year, but every year that they have a chance to make the playoffs, they fall apart in September.
Oh, man.
And they lost to the Angels today 8-7. The Padres, they're still in the wild card race. In fact, they hold the 3rd spot for the wild card right now in the National League, and they beat the Diamondbacks today 12-3. And the Dodgers beat the Giants. That's all we're talking about that because no one can stand the Dodgers, and they're already at like 100 wins or something. We don't even want to talk about it.
They already got the playoffs. I mean,
yeah, and then the Braves beat the Phillies 7-2. So updated standings to the minute now that all the games are over. Did we miss one? I don't think we did. Nope, we got them all. Okay, so standings up to the minute here in the American League. You got the Yankees in the East up on the up on the Blue Jays by 5.5 games. The Rays are 7 games back. The Orioles are 11.5 games back. And the Red Sox, their season is pretty much over. They're 17 games back in the division race. They're 10 games back in the wild card. And like we said, they have 18 games left, so they'd essentially have to win every game and hope someone above them lost every game for them to make the playoffs. The Red Sox are pretty much over for the season. In the Central, what happened to the Twins? They were winning for most of the year. They're winning the division. Now the Guardians have taken over first place. The Guardians are 77-66, and they're 4 games up on the White Sox. So with the Twins lost tonight, they actually fell to third place. They're not even in second anymore.
Well, Twins have been in third place for about a week now.
Yeah.
Just inconsistent baseball. That's what's gotten them. They look good. Their pitching looks good one game. The hitting looks crappy. Hitting looks good one game. The pitching looks crappy. So it's just inconsistency and injuries got to them.
Yeah, definitely. They could have been in second place tonight had they won, but they did not win. And so they're 5 games back in the division. They're 7.5 games back in the wild card. And then you got the Royals that are 21 games back. They're eliminated from playoff contention. And the Tigers are 22.5 games back in the division. In the West, the Astros clinched their division tonight. Or I'm sorry, they clinched the playoff spot, not the division. Excuse me. They're close to clinching the division. But they clinched the playoff spot. They're 13.5 games up on the Mariners. So they pretty much clinched their division at this point. But they're going to be in the playoffs. They're at 95-50. Then you got the Mariners at 80-62. They're 13.5 games back in the division. But that's not the big one for the Mariners right now. The Mariners were up. They were in that wild card for a long time. And we'll get to that in a second. It's a pretty close race right now. The Angels are eliminated at this point. They're 33 games back. And the Rangers are before them. The Rangers are 31.5 games back. And the Oakland Athletics are 43 games out of first place. So
they're already eliminated.
Yeah. So then we look at the wild card. The National League, you have your division leaders, which are the Dodgers, who did clinch their division, by the way. They are division winners of the NL East or NL West. They have clinched their division, so they'll be in the playoffs. The Mets right now lead the Atlanta Braves by 1 game in the East, and that's really because they've only played 2 extra games. The teams have the same amount of losses, but the Braves have 2 less wins. So it's because they played 2 extra games, or it'd probably be a flat-out tie. The Cardinals lead in the Central. And then you go to the wild card in the National League. You have Atlanta, which is way ahead. They're 10.5 games up on the wild card. So it's either going to be the Braves or the Mets. I'll tell you that for the first wild card spot. The Phillies have the second spot right now. They're 1.5 games up on the Padres, who are in the third spot. The Brewers are 1.5 games out. That's really all the teams that are in the wild card race. The Giants are 9 games out, but they're probably not going to go anywhere. So it really comes down to the Padres and the Brewers for who gets that last spot. 1.5 games back for the Brewers. Then you go to the American League, and this is where things kind of get interesting. The Blue Jays are now 1.5 games up over the Mariners for spots 1 and 2. The Mariners are only 1 game up on the Rays for the second spot. So the first through third wild card spots are separated by 1.5 games. So that's going to be an interesting race to see who ends up where. The Orioles still are only 4.5 games out, so they still have a chance of coming back and getting in the wild card if they catch fire. White Sox are 6.5 out, and the Twins are 7.5 out. So that is your up to the minute update for baseball and where everyone sits right now as to who's in your playoff races, who's in your division races.
Yep.
Do the Twins make the playoffs? No? You're shaking your head no?
Nope. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want them to, but yet again, their inconsistency. I mean, unless they catch fire right now and win out and be that team that nobody wants to face, they're gonna make it and be a one and done anyway. So I mean, what's the point? I mean, yeah, okay, you made the playoffs, whoop-dee, but if you're gonna be one and done, because you're probably gonna face the Yankees or Astros right away, possibly. So
yeah,
but I really think right now that there's only like 2 spots left, and that's the Central and the Braves the Braves and Mets are going to get in no matter what. But I think it's the Central for the AL, and probably that last wild card spot in the NL are like the only 2 spots left up. I think everything else is. I don't think we're going to see much back and forth. This team's in one day, this team's out the next day. I think the playoffs are pretty much set. It's just going to be seeding, I think.
I think so too. I think that's the point.
Oh, what's your Pujols take? You said what? End of September he was going to get it?
I said September 28th. That's 12 days from today.
Okay, I know. I looked at the schedule. I think they're in Cincinnati. I think the next 4 games. I think he does it there.
You think so?
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna wrap it up in the next 4 to 5 games. Since he ain't going nowhere. But I was just having a debate with talking to one of my coworkers. If it's the last game of the year and they play the Pirates in the final season series, you might as well just let Pujols get it. I mean, Pirates are out of it. By then, St. Louis is going to have it wrapped up, the division. So they're going to be playing for nothing. Just let Pujols get his moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something interesting that I saw on a Major League fan group, they said with the addition of the designated hitter to the National League, should Pujols consider not retiring this year and continue to just hit bombs?
Nah, he's I think he's a man of his word. I think you brought it up before, J Max, that he's genuine. He's already said retirement. He's done at the end of the year. So I don't think 700 means that much to him. So if he's sitting at 699 at the end of the year, he ain't coming back for one more year.
But
I mean, maybe if Babe Ruth was more in reach, possibly, or Barry Bonds' AKA record was in reach, possibly he'd come back. But I think this is the end of the year. I kind of hope. And I said it before, that Molina and Wainwright both retire too with him, and all 3 get in the Hall of Fame the same year.
I do believe so. So this is my belief. I believe that that's already happening. They just haven't announced it that way. That's really what I think. I think that that's already the road they're all going down.
Yeah.
Molina's 41 too. I mean, he's been in the league 19 years. So, and Wainwright's 38, 39. As a pitcher,
and they're going to catch probably 2 more starts together, 3 more.
They got two more. They say they have 2 more this year,
and then the postseason. So I mean,
yeah.
But they all 3 need to go out on the same year.
But so that brings up an interesting point. Now, if they all retire this year, and they all are eligible for the Hall of Fame, do they all 3 make it on the first ballot?
I don't think
that would be what 2.
That would be
27.
2027. Yeah.
I would vote for them all in. I don't think they will, but I think the voter. If I was a voter, I'd vote for them all in.
Yeah.
And I think they all should get in the same year. I mean, even though Pujols left, I mean, he's still the face of St. Louis baseball. I mean, those 3 guys are tied to the World Series and all that together. So yeah, they all 3 should go in together.
Well, it was like you brought up on Deck the other day. I mean, the record that'll never be broken. I mean, Wainwright and Molina, 325 games they've started as the battery for St. Louis. The next closest to that was what? Kyle
125.
Davies. Yeah, Kyle Davies and Wilson Contreras.
No, it was Kyle. It was Hendricks.
Oh, Kyle Hendricks. Yeah. And Contreras, 125. 200 starts behind is the next closest active.
Yep.
Like, that's just insane. That's one of those records that'll never be touched.
And I know I saw on ESPN too. They had a story. next 300 with Pujols and Cabrera possibly calling it a career on Cabrera's side. Who's going to be the next 300, 500 home run hitters? Right now, I don't think there's anybody near those numbers that are going to be around to hit them. I don't think. I know we looked it up before, and I don't think there's no one close right now.
Well, so for me, I think someday someone will get to 500 home runs just because of all the home runs that are hit now. I think that that's a possibility.
Oh, Judge will probably be the first one to do it.
Right. The record, the milestone I don't think we'll ever see again is 3,000 hits. I don't think we'll ever see anyone get to 3,000 hits again, just because it's not as much. It doesn't mean as much as it used to, and hitting singles,
Well, I mean, with the new rules in place with the shift and stuff, 3,000 might be there. It's going to take a while, I think, because I don't think there's right now a player that's close to retirement that's nowhere near 300 or 3,000 hits.
The closest player to 3,000 was Robinson Cano, and he had 2,811 or something.
Yeah, so, and he's done. His career's over with.
And he's done, so he's not going to get there. The next closest one after him, I believe, was Joey Votto, who is at 2,300. So 700 hits. He's going to have to play another 5 to 6 years to get 700 hits.
We got to start looking at Francisco down at Tampa Bay, the young guns up in Toronto, Biggio and Bouchette and Glad up there. Tatis possibly, if he can stay healthy, could have a shot. But yeah, nobody.
It's not about staying healthy for Tatis. It's about stop using performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, he was out due to an injury, but yeah.
I'm just going to look it up real quick. So Major League active hit leaders right now. Let's look at –
because, if a player plays 10 years, you got to average 300 hits. That's easy math. Well, with the DH rule, you could probably add some of those hitters, probably go 15, 17 years if they're consistent enough. So that's going to bring down that average. But you have to be on a tear your first, 7 or 8 years to even get close to 3,000.
The way they figured it, the way I heard it figured is if you played 15 years, you average 200 hits a year, you'll be at 3,000.
Yep.
So if you put that out to what, 17 years, you could drop that to around, I don't know,
90.
Yeah, something like that. But that means that your average would have to be high, and guys don't hit for average anymore. That's the problem.
And if you're only playing, then you got to figure games played. Nobody plays 100, and you're playing what, an average of 125, 125 games. So
right. So just to give you guys an idea, right now, of course, Albert Pujols has the most hits with 3,300. Miguel Cabrera is at 3,100. Like we said, Robbie Cano was next. Actually, I was wrong on Joey Votto. Joey Votto was fifth. He has 2,093 career hits, so he'd need even more. He'd need about 1,000. Yadier Molina is fourth.
Well, that ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but he has 2,164 hits. I did not know that. So
I didn't know that either.
Nelson Cruz is sixth on the list, but he's already 41 years old, and he's got 2,008 career hits.
2008?
2008. Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs another 1,000. He ain't going to get that.
Right, he's already 41. He's not going to get there. Guys with a realistic chance, to me, I would say.
What's Trout at?
He's at 1,500.
Yeah, he's had too much injury problems.
And he's 30. So
if they take him off the field, I would say possibly he'd have a run at it.
Here's an interesting one. Tell me what you guys think. Jose Altuve.
How many years has he been in the league?
So he's been in 12 years. He's 32.
Okay.
But he's got 1,900.
And he plays second, so... Well, I mean, if he stays healthy, I mean, you look at another 12 years or 10 years-ish, that puts him at 41. He's going to have to start seeing some DH rules. Possibly. I mean, if he wants to play another 10 years, I mean.
Freddie Freeman's an interesting case. I'll say that. He's
been around how long?
He's 32. He's been in 12 years. And he's got 1,885. So he would need 1,115.
So that would be.
So even if he did it.
Freeman's a guy that I don't recall having major injury issues being a first baseman.
No.
So you move him to DH, play first here and there. 10 years, I mean, he needs 11. So that's 100 hits a year, roughly?
Yeah.
You'll need?
Yeah.
Freeman stays healthy. I would put my money on Freeman over Tuve.
Let's see if we have any more interesting cases. Here's an interesting one. Manny Machado. He's 29. He's 29.
He's only 29.
He's only 29, and he's got 1,600 career hits.
God, he seems like he's been around forever, though.
I know.
So how long has he been in the league?
10 years.
29, so another 10,
and
39. And he has how many hits?
1,600. So
I think he would need more than. I think he would need more than 10 years. Because I don't think he has that high of a career batting average.
No, not usually.
I mean, if he was floating around 280 to 300 career batting average, then I'd probably see it. But I don't think he's going to be. I think he would need like 12 to 15 more years.
Okay. I mean, those are really the only interesting ones I could see. Everyone else. So, yeah, you'd have to look at the younger guys for hits. You get into the younger ones. Jose Ramirez is an interesting case for the Guardians. He's 29 and he's got 1,300. So
29. Yeah. He's got a little power behind him too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting down the year. I mean, like you said, J-Mac, a lot of people don't bunt anymore, don't swing just to get a hit, put bat on ball. It's a lot of power numbers, a lot of, analytics. But, yeah. If anybody's going to do it, the guys we listed outside of the last guy you just named, I would say Freeman probably's got the best chance.
Okay. Let's look at we were wanting to look at home runs. I'm just curious where some of the younger guys are,
or even people that are kind of in contention, I guess.
So let's look at what this has. So, of course, we know Pujols is leading away with 698. Miguel Cabrera. By the way, Miguel Cabrera is a first ballot Hall of Famer also. 506 career home runs. He's got 3,000 hits. Those are both the milestones, I think, for being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he'll be there. Nelson Cruz is third actively.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's got 459.
Cruz will get in the Hall of Fame, but he won't be a first ballot. And see, Cabrera being a first ballot, that's going to depend on what we said earlier, if Wainwright and Molina get in, because they're going to take votes away, so
that's true.
That would be interesting combo there.
Mike Trout has 345. So he'd need 155. So even if he averaged what
he's how many years in?
So
13.
Mike Trout is. Hold on, I got to get back to it here.
Or how old was he?
He's 30. He'd need 155. So if he played another 10 years and averaged 15 a season, he'd be right at 500.
But again, I put money on Trout if they moved him full time to a DH. Get him out the field, let him play healthy. You know, then you're looking at him being, you know, getting those numbers. But him playing in the field, I don't think he's going to get those numbers.
That makes I definitely see what you're saying. That's an interesting take, I'll say. Younger guys who kind of fly under the radar. Let's look at those.
Tuve's got to be under there somewhere.
Yeah, let me see if I can find him. He's got 188. Actually, he's got less than I thought.
Yeah, Tuve won't get there. I thought he had more.
Right. Carlos Correa is an interesting case.
Okay, what's he at?
He's at 194, but he's only 27.
Yeah,
So-
he could be.
Yeah.
So 20 a year for another 13 years. That puts him at 500.
Yeah. Yeah, so these guys aren't right now anywhere near looking at 700. I mean,
No, 500. I'm looking at.
well, no,
500.
but I know 500 is going to be the max.
Right.
But there's no one right now that you've named that is going to even sniff 700.
Right. No, he won't get. So this next person I'm going to mention won't get to 700, but I think he will get to 5, and it's one we hadn't even thought about. It's Giancarlo Stanton.
What's he at right now?
He's 32, and he's at 373, so he needs 127 to get to 500.
127. Well, Stanton's another one too that
Maybe.
he's got mega power when he's healthy. I mean, him and Judge in the same lineup is scary.
No,
when
I
healthy.
agree. So for me, if he plays another, let's see, he's 32. If he played another 6 years, need 127. That's 21 homers a year for the next 6 years, and that's on an average. I mean, he could hit
And
more
then
or
that's
less.
to get to 500.
And that's to get to 500. Yeah.
So if he again could stay healthy for another 10 years, he could sniff 7.
I believe so. Yes.
What's
No one
Judge
else?
at right now? If you're close to him, I mean,
He's got 215,
and he's been in the league how long?
and he's actually 30. I didn't think he was that old.
Oh,
But 10 years, 28 homers a year, that would get you at 500. So
so he might not even sniff 700.
he might not.
I mean, he would have to start. I mean, unless he starts averaging 50, 60 bombs a year. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Again, Freeman's an interesting case, not for 700, but for 500. He's 32 and he's got 291, so he needs 209.
20 a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, right now, like I said, I mean, Stanton stays healthy over 10 years, probably be the closest one that's going to sniff 700. I mean, all those guys are going to reach for 500. They stay healthy. I mean,
Right.
I guess Judge would be too if he keeps hitting that 50, 60 home run pace. I mean, then obviously he's going to get up there.
Yeah. The interesting ones, and I don't bring this guy up because he's a Braves player, but it is interesting that Ronald Acuna has been in the league for 5 years already. He's 24. He's only 24.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And he's got 134 home runs already.
And he missed a lot of time the last couple of years, right?
And he's only 24. So he's got, I mean, if he stays healthy and they make him DH now that there's DH in the NL, they let him DH more. He's got 12, 13 years left still.
He's probably got, I would say, probably 15 at tops.
Yeah. So that's an interesting case. And then,
but I could see a guy like him losing power towards the end of his career. So
sure,
he would have to stay healthy now and hit those home runs and then be close.
True. Yeah, that's the only ones. Pete Alonso's an interesting case. He's only 26. He's only 26, and he's got 141. Again, Carlos Correa, he's 27. He's got 154. So,
yeah, I see those guys. Alonso Correa, I think, are going to be more around the 500 mark. I don't see, I guess the polar bear, I guess if you put him at DH more, possibly could get up there, but
yeah, it's interesting. All right, we've talked about baseball for a lot here.
Yeah.
But it's coming into that time. It's coming into the playoff time, and it's the best time of year for baseball, in my opinion. Don't forget, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube. We're also on Twitter. We're on TikTok. And you can now find us on Amazon Fire TV. You have to have a Fire Stick for this. It's not available on Amazon Prime, which I found out, by the way. But it is available on the Amazon Fire Stick. So make sure you find us on there. Tell your friends. Get the word around. And a lot of great things coming up from coast to coast. We're super excited for the Cougars football season coming up. We got a lot of stuff coming up for that. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be a great time, and we're hoping that you all join us for that. We got morning tailgate on Sunday. Yep. That's fastly becoming a very popular show, by the way. For this network, it's becoming very popular. So we got that. What do we got? We'll have us again on
Between the Ropes Sunday.
Between the Ropes on Sunday. That's one of the flagship programs for the network, as well as we are. We're a flagship for the network.
Sports Minute on Sunday or Wednesdays.
Sports Minute on Wednesdays. And I think we'll have some other shows coming up that we're not promoting yet. We've talked about Tuesday in the On Deck spot. I know we've talked about maybe running a fantasy football show that day at that time slot. So we'll see if that happens. And bring that up. We've talked about bringing in a hockey show. Let's talk about hockey. That's always a popular one. So just a lot going on. Stay tuned with us on that. Chris, why don't you tell us about your first week of work, man? Like, how did it go?
It went good. Just trying to get everything situated and, everything kind of in order. But
any good-looking coworkers there that you got your eyes on already?
Not at the moment, no.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
We'll ask him. We'll ask him again next Friday when he's 2 weeks in. We'll see.
2 weeks in.
We'll see where the.
He might be in HR already. That if he keeps listening to our shows.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely one of those, like, I told a joke.
Do not ask them if they like it hard or floppy. So don't ask them that.
Yeah, don't ask them that. Definitely don't ask them that. Don't tell a joke so funny that even HR wants to hear it. That's never good.
Yeah.
That isn't good. No.
So let's see. What can I pull up for JMax Roulette tonight? Let's see if I can find that banner here. There we go. Real quick, let's do – first one to get two of these is going to win tonight. Let's do famous movie quotes.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite – famous movie quotes for 500, please. If they pull back up, because they just disappeared. All right. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Chris. You go first.
All right, I'll go first.
Oh. I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of what I saw. I'm scared of what I did, of who I am. Most of all, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my whole life the way I feel when I'm with you.
Oh.
I'm not sure. I'll pass.
I can't think the actress name, but that's from Dirty Dancing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It was Baby that said it to Patrick Swayze's character.
Yeah.
Yes.
My wife would have killed me if I got that one wrong.
Right. All right. So we got to get another one here. Get busy living or get busy dying.
Busy living or get busy dying. No, I don't. I probably see the movie, but yeah, that's not ringing a bell.
Chris?
I don't know.
The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Okay. Back to Chris.
What's up, James?
Hey, James, buddy. How's it going tonight?
We're guessing movie quotes.
That one's too easy. I can't do that one. I know what I have to do now. I've got to keep breathing because tomorrow the sun will rise. Who knows what the tide could bring?
Is that Chris or mine?
I think it's
That's
mine.
Chris. Chris.
I don't know.
I don't know, but some reason Finding Nemo jumped in my head. I know that's not right, but
No,
Nope,
that would
it's-
have been Keep Swimming.
No, it's
Yeah.
Castaway. Castaway.
Castaway. Okay.
I haven't seen Castaway in forever.
All right.
But that would have made sense, though.
Great men. I lost it. Hold on. It just went away. There it is. Great men are not born great. They grow to be great.
I don't know. I think it's a sports movie, but I can't think of anything right now.
Chris, you got anything?
Godfather?
It is
Ooh.
The Godfather. Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought football movie too.
Yeah, Chris pulled that one
After
out.
I said sports movie, I'm like, watch it be Sandlot or something. That would have pissed me off.
All right. Well, here's the one that might do it. Chris, are you ready?
I'm ready.
One day, you went out to play with your friends for the last time, and none of you knew.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think it's going to be two different genres of movies. I'm going to go We Are Marshall.
No. It is The Sandlot. When he's talking at the end, he talks about where everybody went and who he's seen. And he said, one time when you were kids, you went out to play with your friends for the last time, and none of you knew.
Is that when they showed them all kind of disappearing?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Baby's like, no, I gotta go back and watch.
Yeah, no kidding. I actually thought about watching that today while I was at work.
Oh man, you guys are making it tough. I gotta find. Okay, Big B. Right. Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. Not even me. You dream. You gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you can't do it. If you want something, go get it.
God dang it. You started off, I thought I had the movie, and then you went somewhere else. I'm going to go with my first guess, though. I'm going to say Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No. Chris?
I think I saw this when I was a kid. Pursuit of Happiness?
It is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Featuring Will Smith.
Yeah.
Featuring Will Smith. So James actually got the actor right. He said Will Smith. So he did.
Yeah, when you started out that quote, it's like, okay, that's the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And then you went somewhere else. I'm like trying to think of the rest of the quote, and I'm like, maybe that's it.
Yep.
What was the easy one that you passed up on?
My mama says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Yeah, that one. That's the easy one I passed up.
Yeah, everybody should know that one.
Right. So that's JMax Roulette for tonight. Chris is the winner. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
And I'll let you have the floor for a full minute and say whatever you want to say, and then we'll do our last segments and get out of here.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. Great things coming to Coast, as we talked about, and hope you guys enjoy the show and have a great weekend.
All right, Big B, what do you got for us?
Yeah, no, keep checking us out. We list off some of the shows we did already. Morning Tailgate on Sundays. We'll give our picks and review week 1. Give our picks for week 2. Between the ropes, but more importantly, we're doing this for you fans. So you want to see a show or a topic you want us to talk about on our show, reach out to us and we'll definitely cover that topic or try to create a show that you want to see. So
yep.
With that being said, you guys all have a great night.
Yeah, and to go off what Big B said, thank you all for watching and listening. We couldn't do this without you. Like, you're the reason we're here. We do this all for you. I mean, we love doing it too, but definitely we do this all to give you guys opinions, knowledge, have some fun, entertain you. That's really what we're here for.
Yep.
So thank you all for watching, listening, however you watch this. lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes. And I'll tell you what, we'll see you all on the other side.